Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Speaking Out Loud with Renee.
Good morning.
And the one and only John Borba.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, guys, do not forget to follow us on Instagram at SOL Speaking Out Loud. Also, do not forget to hit the like button. Yes. Shoot us a comment. Let us know how you feel.
Yes.
Ask us any questions. We are ready to answer.
We are ready.
And most importantly, do not forget to subscribe.
Yes.
Join the SOL.
Turn on the notifications. Follow the movement. We're going to hop into week 2.
Week 2.
Man.
Week 2. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun week. There's a lot of teams that need to win.
Yes.
I know it's early. It's definitely really, really early.
But it's never too early to panic.
Never too early to panic. So let's shoot right into it. Let's get right into it here, JP.
Yeah.
Right here real quick, guys.
Little schedule. Might be kind of hard to see, but we're working on
our stuff here.
Yeah.
But so JP, what's tell us a little bit what's going on this weekend. Who's your best matchup?
Oh man, some good matchups. You got of course you got the NFC Championship rematch from last year, Rams and Saints. That's going to be interesting.
Can't go wrong with that.
You got the Vikings heading to Lambeau. Going to play Aaron Rodgers and that new defense. See how that goes.
That one's going to be fun. Hopefully we see a little more scoring.
Oh yeah, dude. I think it's going to be it's going to be a tight game, but it's going to be like maybe in the kind of low scoring. I don't think it's going to be a shootout or nothing like that. So we'll find out.
Let's see.
Eagles and Falcons. Interesting matchup.
On that Packers game is 43 points. So Vegas is expecting not too much points, but
I think I would go right there or even under. Kind of go under that.
Under? What's your score? Obviously, we're looking at
I think it's going to be maybe 20 to 14, 20 to 17, 21 to 17.
You're going Vikes, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm
Vikes
going Vikings,
for
sure.
Because you're a Vikings fan, or you actually legitimately think they're going to win?
I really believe we're going to win. So yeah, that's that.
It's really going to come down to what that offensive line can do for Aaron Rodgers, I think.
Yeah.
I think if that offensive line breaks down, which is going to be really easy for them to do considering how phenomenal the Vikings defense looked last week.
David Bakhtiari, he was questionable too. I don't know if he's going to play today also. We can find that out in a little while as the show goes along.
That one's going to be fun, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real fun game.
Yeah.
You got Kirk Cousins versus Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, you take Aaron Rodgers on that. But
and week 1, we ran the ball 77% of the time. And this week, we're not going to be running it 77% of the time. So we're going to have to open up the offense. We're going to see how comfortable Kirk Cousins is. We're going to see if he can hit his wide receivers, if he can hit Diggs and Thielen. We're definitely going to open up the offense today, so it's going to be interesting. And how comfortable Kirk Cousins, we got to make him look good. We got to make him look good. So we're going to find out a lot today.
What's crazy if you're a Packers fan is it's a tough 2 weeks when you think about it. You know, Chicago, probably the best defense in the NFL, and then you got the Vikings, who are definitely top 5. So I'm not going to be surprised if we see something similar to last week. And what's scary is Mitchell Trubisky was terrible last week. If Kirk Cousins even has a semi-decent game, they might just light him up. Yeah. But then again, Green Bay's defense did look pretty good. But Mitchell Trubisky kind of screwed himself. There were some passes that just were overthrown or short. Or, the guy looked like he was still in high school. It was pretty sad, to be honest. So don't be surprised, Green Bay fans, or if you're tuning in. It might be a long morning, man. It might be a long morning.
But it's definitely going to be a good competitive game. It's going to be a rivalry game. It's going to get the blood pumping. I'm excited. I look forward to these kind of games.
Fun.
Yeah,
that one is going to be fun.
Yeah.
So let's look into the NFC rematch with the Saints and the Rams.
Yeah.
Hopefully the refs aren't too involved this time. But if they are, the Saints can always challenge it, which is good. The new rule that was put in place. How do you feel about that? We haven't seen too many. We didn't really see too many in week 1, which is good.
There was actually a call last week. The Vikings challenged the pass interference, and they didn't even change it, so they just went with the call.
Which is good. So, they were being consistent in the preseason.
Yeah.
They're not just doing like, if you just kind of do this, they're not like, oh, that's pass interference, which was what I expected. Like in the NBA, I feel like if you were to replay every play, almost every play is a foul. So in the NFL, I'm glad that the refs are looking more into just a simple hand on them. So I'm excited about that. But Rams and Saints, man.
What's it gonna take? What's it gonna take for the Rams to pull out a win this week?
The Rams, Todd Gurley's got to show up.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley has got to show up. This game's gonna be a shootout. This game's gonna be a shootout. I see both teams in the 30s. For sure. Both teams are gonna be in the 30s. Both defenses. It's still early to really say anything about the defenses. They look decent.
Saints play their best when their defense is playing together. When their defense is solid, that's when they're a really good team. It's just if they can come together this early in the season. If they let Texans score 27 on them last week.
Yeah, but Texans aren't
and they're not
terrible.
They're not terrible, but the Rams can light it up. I would take the Rams offense over them. So
Jared Goff is more than likely going to throw some points on there. And like I said, if Todd Gurley,
Drew Brees.
If Todd Gurley can,
Todd Gurley still doesn't look like mid-season form of last year. Like he looks a little. I'm really interested in the backup, Malcolm Brown. Yeah. He looked really good too. He had 2 touchdowns last week. He looked good. Gurley's still hurt. Well, I'm not sure if he's still injured. He's
not
the way.
That's for sure.
Yeah, the way that he's running the ball, it just doesn't look.
Well, it's
like
crazy,
the old Todd Gurley that we're used to.
Yeah, I mean, think about the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
Anderson did a lot of the carries there against Dallas.
And nobody still really knows what's going on with Todd Gurley. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
A good question.
And they got Malcolm Brown had 2 touchdowns last week. He looked good. He looks like a good, strong type of running back. Like he's like a Chris Carson type of running back. Runs with urgency. Will truck you. Will do all that. He'll fight for extra yards. There was a play where Todd Gurley breaks a run and just runs out of bounds. Why don't you make a guy miss? Try to run upfield for a few extra more yards.
Something is definitely going on with Todd Gurley. And it's still, and he hasn't came back yet.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Not be surprised. Todd Gurley's he's not hurt. I mean, he was hurt last year. But has he? The question is he fully recovered? Is he at 100%? And based off of his performances going into last year's playoffs and the Super Bowl, I mean. Todd Gurley doesn't make me want to draft him at number 1 in fantasy, I'll tell you that. So when you make an argument if Todd Gurley's the best running back in the NFL, as of right now, it's a definite no.
Yeah.
Definite no. There's no argument. And if you think he is, you're probably a Rams fan. So yeah, they're not saving him for the playoffs because, I mean, he had a really crappy playoff performance last year. I mean, he really didn't even show up in the Super Bowl.
I think they could just lighten his load a little bit. I feel like, they really like Malcolm Brown as a backup also. And if he could start taking those important carries, he could start taking certain times of the game.
The Saints and Rams are kind of a similar offense.
Yeah.
They have the 2 backs.
Yeah.
We're finally seeing what Alvin Kamara can do.
He's going to take it. Yeah, definitely. And Malcolm Brown can definitely take some of Todd Gurley's carries.
For sure. And that's going to be the difference maker. Their offense is ran off of 2 running backs. So if he can come in and really take some of that load off of him, I mean,
it'll help Todd Gurley.
It's
early in the season, and if they keep winning, I'm sure they have no rush to bring Todd Gurley back at his full potential to really put the load on him. I don't think there's no reason to, honestly. There's just so many weapons on that offense and stuff. It's just going to be a process. We'll see how it goes.
Today's definitely one of those games that you you bring it out. You got to bring your A game to this.
Yeah.
Game. There's
it's gonna be this game's gonna be a rivalry. I could see scuffles on the field, like all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be.
There's a lot of redemption for the Saints, and if you're a Saints fan, you have every right to be upset and just pissed off, man. Like, God damn it, dude. That was probably the worst call ever. If you think about it, the Saints have really been screwed the last 2 years, and you could honestly say that Drew Brees could have made a good run to the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl, but just some bad calls, man.
Yeah.
It's really shitty for Saints fans. I feel for y'all.
I think the Rams' key to victory in this game is going to be to put pressure on Drew Brees. You have to make him feel uncomfortable. Aaron Donald's got to make an impact. Dante Fowler, he made an impact last week. He had two sacks. Aaron Donald only had 1 tackle for a loss. But if he can make his presence up the middle, put pressure on Drew Brees, it's going to be a rough game for the Saints. And then I think the Saints' best chance to win is if that defense can slow down that offense, Rams offense. So I think it comes down to it's going to be I think it's going to be a high scoring game, but which defense can just make the certain plays that need to be made.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to come down to.
Aaron Donald's got to show up, and then you got to have Lattimore be able to lock something down on the corner end. Mm-hmm. So and the quarterbacks kind of balance. I wouldn't say they balance each other out, but you would obviously probably take Drew Brees over Jared Goff, but Jared Goff can sling the rock, man.
Yeah,
but
that's why he got paid.
If it comes down to, you saw last week, it only took Drew Brees 30 seconds to put him in a winning situation.
Yeah.
So if it comes down to the end, you could definitely see.
I think I would take my money on Drew Brees instead of Jared Goff when it comes to a game-winning drive, which it could come down to.
It's gonna be a hell of a game, though. Yeah. It's gonna be a fun game. So expect the fireworks there in that game. So.
And the other good matchup that we're looking forward to is the Philly and Atlanta game.
Philly and Atlanta.
It's an interesting matchup.
Yeah, we had a segment with Atlanta this last Friday about panic or slow your roll. And for me, I had said, panic. If this is a definite must win for Atlanta. If you don't win this game, you might as well just say, okay, what college player can we get next year? Or what can you even work on, honestly? Because the offense is so loaded, and the offense is the actual problem right now. It'd be different if you were saying our offense is lighting it up and our defense is really not showing up. We got to get a DB. Right now, you're so loaded on offense. You don't know what the problem is. And to me, it all comes down to Matt Ryan. And I said that since our first podcast. Matt Ryan it's all up to him, man. I don't trust the guy, but for this week, if he can show out, they definitely have a chance to win.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a fun matchup. It's in Atlanta, so it's in the Dome. It's a must-win for Atlanta. But Philly's second half looked pretty solid last night.
Yeah, and the thing is I would say Philly's weakness, at least on defense, would be their secondary. So if Atlanta can take advantage of that matchup and just hit Julio, hit Calvin Ridley, just find the open guys, I think it could be kind of a high-scoring game. But I feel like the Eagles are only going to get better from last week's performance, which is kind of scary. So,
when you think about it, though, Philly had to come back, and Carson Wentz had some big numbers. But, 2 of those touchdowns were deep bumps to Deshaun Jackson. And it was a broken play on defense. The defense in Atlanta is different than the defense in Washington. I would say Atlanta's defense is a little bit better. They have a better secondary for sure.
Yeah,
and they put a lot more pressure than Washington does. And that's not a knock on Josh Norman or anything, but Josh Norman's, he's getting older. And you're in Washington, man. It's not the same anymore. So, but if Philly, the key to this game is who is going to start the game faster. If Philly comes into Atlanta with that little bull crap, we're the best, blah blah, fly Eagles fly. If they come in with that mentality, they're gonna get taken, man. They're gonna get dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that Minnesota did great against Atlanta is they never gave that offense a chance. They just put it down their throat, man. They smashed it into their throat. They never gave them a chance. Matt Ryan, they were down for 2 scores.
Yeah,
that.
They were down 21-0 like at the end of the first quarter, pretty much. So
if Philly can do that, Philly's gonna have an easy walk. But if they start off this game slow,
and Atlanta takes control early, then
not even if Atlanta takes control, if Atlanta can wave the storm, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, if they can get some confidence, build some confidence. Maybe get a early touchdown, maybe 7-0 lead or something like that, play good defense, then I feel like they would get their confidence back and return to like the old team that they were like last year or the year before even. Yeah. So it's just we're going to see how that game plays out. But if they go in a hole again, then man, that's going to demoralize that team.
Oh, yeah.
If
Atlanta loses,
it's a must win because you got to keep up with the Saints in that division. Hope for a Saints loss today at least.
It gives them hope. But the Saints, I don't see the Saints losing too many games.
I don't. Yeah. It's one of those games. It's that year where like the Saints are. I think most people take the Saints in that division. So that's why it's going to be harder for the Buccaneers, the Falcons, the Panthers.
100%.
They're going to be trying to fight for a wild card. That's what it looks like.
Yeah,
and every game counts. Sure. Every game counts, especially when it's stacked NFC, a whole stacked NFC. So you don't know where the wild cards are going to come from. You gotta win. It's huge. There's a lot of pressure on Atlanta. Of course, they won't tell you that there's a lot of pressure on them, but they got to perform.
Let's talk about a little bit of heat in Philadelphia, though. I mean, this isn't a walk in the park.
No.
But this is a game that they need to pull out. I mean, they're playing a team who's got their backs against the wall. So you come in with that. What's Philly's thing? Dog pound. Come in with that dog mentality and eat them up. You got to eat them up. When you have a team against the wall and you want to knock them out, this is your chance. Because it may come down to. Because we've talked about this division having at least 2 teams come out of it. And we've also talked about the NFC East bringing out 2 teams for a wild card.
Yeah,
it's more likely to see an NFC East team for sure is going to have at least 1 wild card.
Yeah.
So you're either going to be 5-6 or you're going to be sitting at 7 at home watching the playoffs.
Yep.
So this is definitely one of those games for Philly where you say, okay, this team, we have a chance to knock these guys out. Blow their confidence. So you got to hit them.
Let's do it.
You got to hit them. Fletcher Cox, you got to come, man. You got to show out today, and you got to lay the boom on.
If that defense can get after Matt Ryan the same way that Minnesota defense did, it's going to be a long game for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta's got to establish the run game. They got to make Matt Ryan feel comfortable. It's going to be hard because Chris Lindstrom, their first round offensive lineman from this last year of the draft, he's out for the year. So they got some replacements on the offensive line. So I don't know. For me, it's not looking good for Atlanta, but that's just my opinion. It's going to be a good game, though. I'd expect a lot of scoring and a lot of good plays.
The over-under on that game is 52.5. They're saying it's going to be pretty high scoring. Yeah, agree?
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say mid-20s, like maybe 30 to 24, something like that.
The winner's going to have 30.
I'd say that. I'd say so.
It's going to be like 27 to 30 something.
I'd say something like that.
Yeah, I would definitely take the over on that one. That one's gonna be fun. That is your Sunday night football game.
Yeah.
So that's a good way. Hopefully, this Sunday night game is better than last week's Sunday night game.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But 3 hell of games. It's gonna be fun. So if they're not on your local network, get the NFL ticket.
Yeah.
Because that's where we will be watching them.
So we're going to watch all the games today.
Yeah.
And who are a couple other of must-win teams? We've kind of talked about Atlanta. Who's a couple more of your choices?
Atlanta must-wins. Let's take it to the board here. We got obviously Atlanta. I said is a must-win. I also think Seattle going into Pittsburgh. You gotta show out today, man. You gotta show up. Big Ben, you gotta have some type of sense of urgency, man. It's God damn it, dude. Last week was terrible. The entire performance from both sides was just, man, it was disrespectful to football. God dang, man. Show up. Show up. Mike Tomlin, you gotta make. I'm not a coach. I never coached. I coached soccer. That's pretty much my resume on coaching. But you cannot, on 4th and 1, and not go for it. You got to do your thing, man. You got to show out. So Mike Tomlin, if you don't show up today, aggressive like you always are, and run the damn ball, then come on, my dude. Run the ball. Give it to James Conner. It's going to open up Juju for a good performance. And then you guys have a chance. So Pittsburgh, if you don't win, like I said Friday, it's a panic. But this is your chance to prove me wrong. You either show out or go out.
Yeah, and it's going to come down to that defense stopping Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson went only through 20 attempts last week, but he had a passer rating of 138. So he didn't throw a lot, but he was really productive. And the Steelers defense has got to slow him down. He runs that whole. He's the face of that team, and if they can slow down Russell Wilson, make him have some turnovers, then the Steelers will be in good shape to win that game, to have a comeback performance, to prove themselves in week 2, and prove that they're a competitive team that wants to make a playoff run, and that they don't need Antonio Brown. For sure. So we'll see how it goes, but I feel like it's definitely a must win for Big Ben and that Steelers team.
I think for me, if Big Ben, if they lose this game, like I said Friday, it's panic zone in Pittsburgh, and I don't see Big Ben finishing off the season, man. I think they extended him for 2 years, if I'm right, which was dumb, I think, on Pittsburgh's end. It's one of those loyalty things where you're just trying to hold on to somebody because they've been with your franchise for so long. But you gotta. It might be time to move on. I definitely think losing week 2 is a panic zone, and you might even look into Rudolph coming in and seeing
if there's any potential in him for the future.
Sure. But the only way they're going to win is if James Conner can run that ball. Seattle's not great. Seattle didn't have a great game last week. They really didn't. Seattle doesn't look very good either.
The Bengals could have easily won that game. They had 3 fumbles, and it was a sloppy game on the Bengals' part, and they still lost by a point. Seattle barely squeaked that one out. They gave themselves plenty of chances to win. It's just, it's a new coach. You got Andy Dalton as your quarterback, so that's nothing spectacular. But I mean, I think the Bengals are a below 500 team, and they put that much pressure on the Seahawks. So I feel like the Steelers can play better than that. They're a more disciplined team, and they want something to prove. They're going to be hungry, and they want to show that they can compete. So I think
at least we hope that's what they're going to do.
So I think they'll show up this game. So,
James Conner will be my guy out of that game. If they have a chance, it's going to be through James Conner.
Yeah.
So you got to show out, man. Mike Tomlin, make some damn calls. 4th and 1. Come on, buddy.
You got to
do your thing.
Don't play. What do you call that saying? Don't play the game just to. They're playing not to lose. Don't play to lose.
They're being very conservative.
Conservative. And don't do
they're down by 20, 4th and 1.
Yeah.
On the right side of the field, it's not like you're at on your own side of the field. On the opposite side of the field, 4th and 1, and you choose to kick
that kind of says something about how he feels against the Patriots. That kind of
that was like Conor McGregor against Khabib, tapping out, man. You gotta hold on just a little bit longer. Yeah. It's either get knocked the hell out or go to sleep or give yourself a chance to win. Come on, man.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about another must-team win. A must-win for this team, the Cleveland Browns.
Oh yeah, Cleveland Browns.
I feel like it's a must-win for them.
OBJ.
And Baker, and I think they have a really good chance to get back on their feet this week, and I wouldn't be in panic mode. It's just there was so much hype around that team, so of course it's a must-win. I feel like there hasn't been that much hype around Cleveland in years, since like LeBron. Decades. Yeah, since LeBron. Yeah, in football at least. Yeah. LeBron. So I feel like they're gonna have to win this week, which I think they will. They're going up against the Jets team. No Sam Darnold. He's got mono. He's gonna be out for Jet season's done.
Sam Darnold, what the hell did you put in your mouth?
Put a fork in the New York Jets. Sorry.
Done?
They're done.
Done.
First team eliminated from the playoffs
already
is the Jets.
Week 2.
Without Sam Darnold, they're done.
But he just has mono.
Done.
Mono, I'm not
He's
sure.
Out for weeks.
Help us out. I don't know
how
long it takes for mono to get
It's contagious. I don't know what it is. It's just not good, and he's out. He's out for weeks.
Do not drink after Sam Darnold.
What's going on up there in New York? What's going on up there in New York City? New York. So.
Goddamn New Yorkers, man. Do not drink after Sam Darnold. That's what's going on right now. But I don't know. He's out because of mono. He's probably going to be back next week.
I don't know. Hey, it could be a week by week thing,
but
that's what I heard. So we'll find out about that.
They had the Bills last week, right?
Yeah, and they choked a 16-0 lead.
But the Bills are one of those teams where you're just like, you throw a coin up and you're like, man, they might be good.
The Bills are one of those teams that can upset a few better teams than them this year. So
they're heartbreakers, man. They're like the Lions. They're heartbreakers. You look at your schedule.
That's the Minnesota Vikings fans from last year about that.
And you go, that's a dub. And then you turn on your TV and you're down
opposite.
7 already. And it's like, Jesus, this game might not go the way I want it to go.
Yeah. But back to the Browns.
Sorry.
Kind of got off.
Browns, OBJ, man, a lot of the attention came to the Browns. For one was Baker Mayfield. He was a big talk already in college, the way he acted and all that stuff. Coming into the NFL, transitioning, had a pretty decent season. Could have probably made the playoffs last year. They were 1 game back, I think. With all that attention that you bring to yourself, you got to show out, man. I saw this quote that Warren Sapp said. Because Odell Beckham, you know how they made that big old deal about Odell Beckham wearing that $350,000 watch for a game. Like you talk about, I just want to play football, whatever, blah blah. But yeah, you do stuff that puts you out there, and you're not performing.
Yeah.
Like Warren Sapp said, if you're gonna wear a $350,000 watch, don't play like you're $2. Somewhere along those lines. Don't quote me on that one, but it was somewhere along those lines, and he's right, man. You can't. If you're going to make yourself an athlete that presents itself as a $1 billion athlete and then come show up and play and your haircut looks better than your actual play, that's embarrassing. Odell, man. All the talk that you've done, everything that you said about New York, coming into Cleveland, blah, blah, blah. Show up, dude. Put up some numbers. You're pissing a lot of fancy people off. And most importantly, you're
pissing off Cleveland Browns fans. When you're getting booed already in halftime? They're already booing them.
Not even fourth quarter.
Man,
halftime. I know last week you made a comment about their coaching staff.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that coaching?
I think it needs to progress in the right direction for them to be a more successful team all around the board. When it comes to discipline,
Because
all that type of
zero
stuff.
discipline right now.
Yeah, if I feel like
Players control that.
and I feel like that team needs to come together. It's a lot when you bring in a team with all these different personalities in one off season. You bring in OBJ, you bring in Kareem Hunt, you bring in Sheldon Richardson. All those guys have a past. They got baggage with them.
Yeah.
And
who's
the leader?
The only guy
they
they brought in was Jarvis Landry that doesn't have like a
and that was 2 years ago. And who's the real leader of that team? Who is Baker the real leader of that team? The guy that's running his mouth, he's not a typical type of leader at quarterback that you want.
If you're gonna be loud, be like a Drew Brees.
Yeah,
Drew Brees is loud.
There's not.
Have you ever seen his pregame pump up motivation speeches?
Yeah,
man, the guy, he almost makes you want to root for them every week. Drew Brees is that guy though. He gets along with everybody, but yet he shows out. That's the difference, man. If you're gonna talk the talk, show out.
Yeah,
it's the same. It goes for any sport. Sport, man. You have guys in the UFC and basketball that talk all this talk, right? For prime example, Conor McGregor, talk all the talk. The guy was thrown down, got beat up, and now he's doing all this crazy stuff. But if you're gonna continue to talk the talk, you gotta walk, man. You gotta show out, Baker. So. If you're gonna be the leader of that team, show out, bro.
Yeah.
OBJ, show out. Don't do all this other crazy stuff that just brings you to social media.
Yeah.
I mean, I know social media is definitely the biggest platform for everyone. So show out. Go Sundays, Mondays.
And it starts this week. They gotta show that they can compete. They gotta show that they're disciplined. The coaching staff's gotta show improvement every week. And it's gonna be a week by week thing. The team's gotta come together. It's gonna take time for them to come together. I think it's going to be around week 8 is when you start seeing them bust out. Possibly if everything comes together the right way. Week 8? Not, week 8.
What are you looking at week 8 though? I mean,
what? I don't.
If they go 4-4 into week 8.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're going to click till week 8. So I think they could easily go maybe 2-5, maybe 3-4 by like week 8.
One hell of a run.
And then they start winning. I still don't see them as a playoff team. Personally.
That's right, you counted
but
down.
Yeah, I don't see them as a personal. This year, I don't see them as a playoff team.
I'm the one on the Baker Mayfield hype train.
Yeah,
my biggest disappointment for them is OBJ, man. I mean, it was just week 1. I get it; it's week 1, but you didn't play a very good team, and he still didn't show out. That's when you show out, man. Week 1, all this hype, all this BS you've been doing all summer. You got to come and show out. You have to show out. And in the NFL, it's not basketball. You don't play 82 games. You play 16. And the majority of those matter. You got to squeeze through the easy ones because those tough ones, you never know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how it goes.
The Browns won't surprise me if they don't make the playoffs, but I am rooting for them. Baker Mayfield, show out Monday, make some noise, and show what's actually going on.
Yeah, start building off this performance because this is going to be your easiest game probably the entire year. So I feel like it.
Sure.
CJ Mosley's out on defense for the Jets. It should be a game that a veteran, that a good team like the Browns want to be, it should be a team that they just run through.
For sure.
I feel like
the Jets have their best defender out and their quarterback.
What else do you want? It's a freebie. Yeah. Just go along, take this as a learning experience. Win the game, dominate, move on to the next week.
Yep.
So another must-win I see this week, just because of the division that they're in, and the road's only going to get harder for them. And if they go 0-2 this week, then it could be a wrap. That would be the Chicago Bears, and they go up to Denver. They go into Denver, which is a really, really hard place to win. A higher elevation, all that kind of stuff, and you're riding on Mitch Trubisky, who did not have a very good game in week 1, and you're hoping to change that around in week 2, and it's a lot of pressure, just because of the division. I feel like the NFC North front runners. A lot of people are picking the Packers and the Vikings. especially after what they've seen in week one.
Yeah.
A lot of people are hyped over the Packers defense. It's a new defense. Bob Pettin, and he installed a new defense. It looks good. We'll see how it goes today. Vikings, they look good. So you never know. I feel like the Bears have to perform today to win, and it's not gonna be easy at all. Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, they want to get after the quarterback. They didn't even touch Derek Carr. They made him look like a Pro Bowl quarterback,
which we know that is not true. Sorry,
maybe
Derek Carr,
maybe. Don't write him out the books yet.
I wrote him,
but he looked really good.
But
yeah, he looked really good against like good front like that, like the Broncos front. They couldn't even touch the man. He looked like a perennial Pro Bowler.
Joe Flacco, and what's scary is Chicago. This isn't an easy game at all whatsoever. For one, Mitchell Trubisky has to show up. Agreed, right? Mitchell Trubisky has to make those throws in tight windows.
All right.
But Joe Flacco did not have a bad game. Joe Flacco's not a scrub. That's a former Super Bowl MVP, man. He's not a scrub. If anybody let anybody down last week, it was the wide receiver core in Denver. Joe Flacco threw some dimes, man. Some dimes. And hitting professionals' hands and dropping them.
It's not acceptable.
Yeah, not at all. I think, if Joe Flacco is going to have another good game, for sure. But it's going to be one hell of a game, man.
It's going to be an interesting matchup. It should be a good game.
Yeah, that's going to come down to the end.
Yeah, I think it's going to be low scoring.
Come down to the
a defensive battle, another defensive. It's just going to be a grind, and we'll see how it turns out. It's going to and Mitch Trubisky, if he can perform, I see them winning today. I can see them pulling out the win today.
With Mitchell playing good, though.
With Mitchell playing good. But if he doesn't, if Von Miller and Bradley Chubb are in his face all day, making him uncomfortable, it's going to be a long, long day.
This is kind of a battle. Most of the time you see battles between quarterbacks, but this one's definitely Von Miller against Khalil Mack.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That's the real matchup there.
Man, so, two of the best off the edge.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of
you think like they talk like maybe before the game. I bet you get more sacks this week.
Their conversations probably like, hey, bro. Like, what up? You're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
Yeah, but I'm gonna look a little bit better than you today.
Yeah, and then Khalil Mack ends the conversation. He's like, Old Spice.
Right.
All right, keep talking. No, definitely. That's the real matchup is between those two. But
yeah, that's an exciting thing to look forward to. I kind of like. I like matchups.
Those types of players when you start comparing athletes like that, I know they pay attention.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Sure. There's athletes that say, oh, we shut down social media. Shut the hell up. And you turn on ESPN when you go home and relax.
Yeah, you're going to want to know what the other, like, even during the game, you're going to want to know, like, okay, what's Von Miller done? Okay, what's Khalil done?
Von Miller's an MVP talks. Why? Why am I not? You know what I mean? Like,
so,
Khalil Mack's a bad dude, man.
Both guys are hungry. They want to be the best defensive player in the league. They want to win defensive MVP of the season. That's a cool matchup. It's
gonna be fun. That one's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and now we're gonna talk about a little bit of our breakout performances. Who we think could have a huge week 2 game today. Just go off. All that kind of stuff. And who do you have today?
Who's gonna cook today? Who is gonna cook?
Who do you think? Who do you think?
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong with New England and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady. Lamar Jackson had 5 touchdowns in week 1. 5 touchdowns. We did not expect that. I don't think anybody expected that besides Lamar Jackson and
that organization. I don't even know if he expected that, to be honest. I don't think one expected that. I think when there's not a safety in the middle of the field, it's pretty easy, though.
The only person that I think expected that is one of our subscribers, Easy. He said that the Ravens are going to blow out the division. So when Lamar Jackson was slinging that rock, he's probably like,
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Renee Borbar, idiots. So, but Patriots, Tom Brady, I am calling you out, my friend. Throw 6 today. Throw 6. 6 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson threw 5. Show the young man dude up.
Show the young man.
Show him up. Show him up.
I think he could.
Tom Brady.
Like,
Tom Brady is the dude this weekend.
I think Tom Brady could have 6 touchdowns by the third quarter. Like they might, and they would still.
Tom Brady's not playing the fourth quarter. We'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I don't.
Tom Brady is not playing in the fourth quarter. So if anything, if he proves me right, this is all going to be done in 3 quarters.
Yeah.
3 quarters. Miami's so terrible.
Yeah, when you got half the team that doesn't want to play for that organization. Like, that says something about
What's
the players. That says something about the coach.
Yeah,
what is it? Like, do they not want to play for their coaches?
His coaches, the owners, the training staff, the water boys.
It's really bad. Like, they just want to tank, and that's one of the. I feel like they could have one of like the. They could be one of those teams like that can tank so hard, like one of the hardest tanks in the history of the NFL.
Like we're going for that first rounder.
They can win that easily.
Question on that. Do you think Josh Rosen gets in today?
Yeah. I know Fitzpatrick, he's got the start, but if they go down huge again, they'll put in Josh Rosen. And he threw a pick last week. He was like, he only threw 3 passes, and one of them was a pick. So, man.
And he had a lot of hype coming out of college, dude.
Yeah, like, hey, he's going to be this next Aaron Rodgers type. He's got this Aaron Rodgers
like
personality.
He put it on himself. He was probably the most arrogant guy out of that draft.
Yeah.
It was that draft was him, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, and was Lamar Jackson in that draft? Yep.
Yeah, he was.
Sure was.
Yeah.
And, he came out flat and said, I'm the best quarterback. You want me, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to change your organization. Yeah. Sure. Arizona didn't want you. Bye. Miami took you in, 3 passes in, pick.
Yeah, and he's still backup, so.
Yeah, so it's pretty much.
He'll eventually start.
D'Angelo Russell. What was the Raiders quarterback? Biggest bust of all time.
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, is that what we're looking at? A first rounder being a.
No, just because he's in better shape than Jamarcus Russell. Just let himself. He didn't care at all.
That's definitely true. But yeah, I see Tom Brady being our best, or my best performer of the weekend.
Yeah, and yeah.
Oh, and if you have Sony Michel,
I would honestly pick anybody on the Patriots to just have a huge game.
For sure.
So I expect Antonio Brown to make some big plays.
I have Josh Gordon on my fantasy team.
Josh Gordon will make plays. Everybody's gonna make plays.
Josh Gordon is definitely starting. Josh Gordon might be four of those touchdowns on the end of those.
Yeah, you never know.
But Sony Michel, if you have Sony Michel on your fantasy team, put him in the starting lineup.
Put him in the starting lineup. Yeah.
He should already be there. But
I think so, yeah.
Running back 1 this week, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Who do you got? Who do you got performing?
For my breakout performance, I'm going to go a little different way. I'm going to go Jimmy G.
Jimmy G
is my breakout performance. And last week was his first game back, and he was definitely rusty against a respectable Buccaneers defensive secondary. Like, they're not talked about. They're not talked up at all, but you got to respect the team. Yeah. But I think he'll come in, knock off the rust, play a good game, and I feel like he'll have a good game today. Last week he was 18 to 27, 166 yards, and he also threw a pick 6 to, I believe, Richard Sherman. But I think he'll have a bounce back game today, and they're going up against Oh, no, Richard Sherman caught a pick 6. Oh, my bad. I'm thinking about something else. I expect Jimmy G to go off today. I think that he's primed for a good season, especially behind Kyle Shanahan. Shanahan is a really good coach. He's a really good offensive-minded coach, and I think the 49ers are one of those teams that could possibly win that division. I feel like they've definitely worked their way back up to be a competing team. And if Jimmy G can stay healthy, it's going to be a good season for him. It's going to be a good season for that team. And I expect that to start today, where he really starts to just unleash his greatness.
Bring out his inner Tom Brady.
Bring out that.
What did you learn in New England, Jimmy G? Show us today.
And I feel like he'll deliver for sure. And I feel like it starts today.
I can see that.
The Bengals.
I can see that. Everything you learned in New England sitting behind the greatest quarterback ever.
Yeah, this is his time. He's got a full season now.
Yeah,
so
you're healthy.
This is his time to prove it.
You're healthy. You've gotten some reps in the off season. It's definitely time for you to show out. So Jimmy G, Borba is calling you out, my friend.
Yeah,
bring in some high numbers, and San Francisco is set up to definitely be successful today or this week. So Jimmy G, show out, man.
Yeah, show out. And it's going up against the Bengals team that doesn't have necessarily a very – they're going to be in the same category as the Buccaneers when it comes to defense on the defensive side. They're not too great. So I expect, Russell Wilson played a really good game. He only threw 20 times last week against the Bengals.
Yeah.
But he had like 138 passing rating. He threw a touchdown. He was like 17 of 20 or I don't know. He had really good stats. And I expect Jimmy G to have 30-plus attempts, have a really good pass rate. I expect that out of him today.
That game is going to be a shootout. The Bengals run a spread offense.
I think so. Yeah, I think and what we saw last week from the Bengals, they're going to be a pass-heavy team, especially with Joe Mixon out or questionable, limited touches today.
From the sounds of it, Joe Mixon is going to play.
He will play. I'm sure he'll get limited touches. Mm-hmm. I'm sure. So it's going to be a high-scoring game. Teams are going to be passing. It's going to be that type of game. So I expect a lot of numbers put up on both sides. But this is the start of Jimmy G's career as a 49er. This is the game that starts him off the right track. So I think it starts today. We really start to see Jimmy G's full potential.
Bloom.
Yeah.
The butterfly is coming out.
Yeah.
In Jimmy G. Well, that game's going to be fun. The over-under on that game is 46 points. That if you got your money on something, put it on that over-under. Yeah. I would definitely go over. It's going to be a shootout. The 49ers like to sling the rock, and the Bengals definitely like to sling the rock. So, over-under 46, I would definitely put my money on the overs. So, throw your bet in. Well, I have a little game for Johnny here. It's called Trust or Bust.
All right.
Trust or bust, my friend. I'm going to name a couple players and teams, and you let me know if you trust them or you bust them for week 2. Not necessarily the rest of the year, just week 2.
Okay.
All right, so I got you Matt Ryan against the Philadelphia Eagles. Do you trust Matt Ryan week 2 Sunday Night Football at home under the lights? Or is my dude a bust?
I think Matt Ryan today, you can trust him. I think he's a veteran. He's been around a long time. There could be questions and all that stuff whirling around that organization. How bad they played last week. All these questions about the offensive line. Can they protect him? I think he'll come into the game ready to sling the ball. They're gonna get balanced this week. It's gonna be a much different game. Yeah. I think he's gonna lead that team. I'm not gonna say to a win, but he will definitely help that team.
It's all on him.
Yeah, it's all on him.
The running back.
I feel like he's gonna play a lot better than last week. They had some miscommunication last week. They were pretty much boxed up last week, and it was. I'm sure he was the most disappointed. Because he's that type of he's a leader like that. He's that kind of quarterback, and I feel like he's got something to prove. He'll come into today and he'll sling the ball around. He'll put up some decent numbers, and yeah. So I put my trust in him today.
You got your trust on him.
Yeah.
Awesome, Matt Ryan. Show out, ball out, or go home, my friend. Well, you already be home, but go to your room. So also, I got the Chargers. The whole team. The Chargers had a close game last week. Could have easily lost if Adam Vinatieri would have been Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah.
That's definitely unusual for him. So the Chargers and they also are missing Ingram, and they don't look like they're going to have any contract negotiations with him this season. So he's probably going to be out the rest of the year. If you drafted him on fantasy, you are an idiot and you didn't read your reports. So next time, read. But anyways. The Chargers, man. What do you got? You got some trust on this team or bust this week?
For the Chargers, I would trust them because they're going up against the Lions, and I feel like they're one of those teams they've in the past seasons they've always underperformed. I feel like they've always had it like they've had a good roster for years now, and there's always disappointing losses on that team every year. But I feel like Phillip Rivers is playing really good. They have a really good 1-2 punch with Justin Jackson and Austin Eckler. I think Mike Williams is questionable today. He's one of their best. That's one of their best receivers. But I'd still pick that team. I think they're going to win today. I would definitely put my trust in them, not only to win but possibly come out of that division. Yeah, you got Kansas City, but I think it could be a battle like last year, possibly two 12-4 teams, whatever, fighting for a first round bye. So I believe in Phillip Rivers. I believe in that whole team. I believe in that defense. They're going to get after the quarterback.
You see a close game or just?
I really don't see. I don't.
They're in Detroit. Let's not forget.
I think it could be a competitive game.
The over-under. The spread is plus 1.5. Detroit. So 1.5. Easy.
Yeah.
You got them winning by a score, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I can see them winning by 7 points, 10 points. Yeah.
1.5 Chargers, right? Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Easy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, one more. I got another one for you. I got 2 actually.
Okay.
Trust or bust? Lamar Jackson's performance today. Trust or bust? Not necessarily is Baltimore.
This is one of those things.
But is Lamar Jackson gonna live up to the expectations he has not only put on Baltimore and Easy, but on the rest of the NFL? Is this a trust or a bust going into week 2?
I'm gonna have to trust it for week 2. They're going up against the Cardinals. I'm Patrick Peterson. He's suspended. They don't have a very good secondary. I expect him to put up numbers, not 5 touchdowns, but I think he'll play good enough to win. And yeah, I trust him this week. I think he'll pull out a win and help that team win for sure.
Lamar Jackson, show out, my friend. Borba's got nothing but trust in you in week 2, so do not prove him wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm sure every Baltimore fan in the world is saying the same thing.
Right.
But you're not a running back. You showed last week you can throw the ball, so continue to throw the ball. And don't forget, the best advice I've probably ever gotten is learn to slide.
Yeah.
Last one, man. The Browns and Baker Mayfield. Do you trust the guy or bust against the New York Jets?
This week, I don't know if I can trust him ever, but I'll just pick him this week because of the matchup.
The way they're set up.
Yeah, the matchup, the injuries to the Jets.
Definitely overwhelming.
It would definitely, if Sam Darnold was on that team, if he was playing, I would definitely consider it a tight game, and I don't know if I could put my trust into Baker Mayfield. But now I feel like Baker Mayfield has like some leeway to make a couple of mistakes, which hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully they don't take this as like, we got easy. Yeah, like hopefully
and if they do, it just proves everything you ever said. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
The guys
they should be coming in this game. He should be the first one to lead that team, head down, ready to work, put in the work, and just destroy that team. So yeah, I'll put my trust into him this week, but just this week.
Definitely. Well, that's it for trust and bust. Hey guys, just to remind you, do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Shoot us some comments. Let us know how you feel. Also, shoot your questions here.
Yes.
We will be ready to answer.
Yes.
If you want the answers, ask the questions. It's simple.
Join the notification gang.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It'll let you know when we post videos, when we're about to go live, all that kind of stuff. So
definitely
join that.
Right now, we have an Instagram. It's SOL Speaking Out Loud. Again, that's at SOL Speaking Out Loud. So join the SOL movement. Jump on the train, and let's go. Choo, choo.
Yeah.
What else we got today, Borba?
I think we should get into our matchup predictions.
Well, let's get right into that matchup predictions, man. We got let's start off with our 11 o'clock games, man. We got Vikings and Packers.
Vikings and Packers.
Vikings and Packers.
It's
Who do you got winning this game?
It's going to be a good game. Last week we saw the Vikings establish balance. That's what they've been preaching all season. Balance, balance, balance. Let's run the ball. Let's run the ball. We bring in Kubiak. We bring in offensive linemen. We bring in everybody to run the ball. This week, it's not going to be as easy to run the ball. So now we got to put Kirk Cousins on play action. We got to get him out of the pocket, get him on bootlegs, get those targets down to the field, help him find Adam Thielen, help him find Stephon Diggs, get Irv Smith a little bit involved also, second round draft pick from this past year. That's what the Vikings got to do. We got to move the ball. We got to stay consistent on offense. And defensively, we got to get after Aaron Rodgers. Got to make him stay in the pocket. Do not let him out of the pocket. That's when he makes the most dangerous plays. And for the Packers, I feel like, first of all, they got to stop the run. And then when they stop the run, Vikings are going to have to pass.
Yeah.
You want to make Kirk Cousins as uncomfortable as possible. If you make him uncomfortable, it's going to be a long day. So it's going to come down to defense.
You got to make Kirk Cousins your quarterback.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is probably the weakest link on the offensive side for the Vikings.
Could be.
And that's no disrespect to
could be the weakest or could be the strongest.
Because
it's one of those things. We don't know.
Yeah, it's no disrespect to Kirk Cousins. It's Dalvin Cook is playing right now. And we've seen what he was capable to do. So it's no disrespect to him, but you got to make him play quarterback. You got to put the pressure on Kirk Cousins. We've seen what pressure does to him in Washington. So either he proves us wrong or you make him be quarterback.
We'll find out what he is this year.
So Green Bay's got to put the pressure. So let us know what do you think is the outcome of this game?
I really feel the Vikings are going to pull this one out. We're gonna cause enough panic around Aaron Rodgers to make him feel uncomfortable. I feel the Vikings pull this one out.
The Vikings are going to pull this out.
Yes, it's going to be not a very high scoring game, competitive, defensive. There's going to be some plays made on the offensive side. It's a rivalry game.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of blood.
I'm going to agree with you on this one. E-Rob, I'm sorry, my friend, but I'm going to agree with you on this one. If the Packers can't protect Aaron Rodgers, it's a wrap. The defense is way too good. They're way too stacked on the defensive end. And I don't like Xavier Rhodes against anybody right now, especially after what he showed against Julio Jones. Probably one of the top 2, top 3 best wide receivers in the NFL. So, and I don't see a top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 receiver in Green Bay.
Besides Devontae Adams.
Which you can still make the argument. He's definitely out of the top 5.
Yeah.
Easy matchup for Xavier Rhodes. I'm going to take Minnesota. Definitely winning the spread there. The spread is the Packers are winning by 2.5 points. Go Minnesota. They're going to get the dub. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a really good game. But Minnesota may pull this out. Let's go right into the next game. This is a little bit more simple, I think. Jaguars going to Houston against the Texans and Deshaun Watson.
Well, the positive thing about the Jaguars was their rookie quarterback, Minshew, playing a solid game last week, coming in for Nick Foles.
Live reps.
But other than that, I think it's going to be kind of a long day for the Jaguars. The only thing that's going to keep them in the game, I feel like, is their defense.
Yeah, definitely Jalen Ramsey.
But I feel like
has 5 touchdowns. That's the only way they're going to win.
Yeah, and I feel like Deshaun Watson, Hopkins, that offense is ready to play. They're going to make some plays, and it's hard to stop DeAndre Hopkins. He might be the best receiver in the NFL.
This
is tough.
This one's a little bit. This one's easy as far as who's going to win is the Texans and Jaguars. Obviously, the Texans. I think
I would go for the Texans.
The majority of the world's going to take Texans. Vegas also thinks the Texans will win. They got Vegas. Vegas has the Texans at 8.5, the favorites. This is a tough one as far as betting because 8.5. Jags are one of those. It's hard. For me, it seems like in the past that teams have a hard time preparing for a new quarterback coming into the league, which is why you see so much success in like rookies or like 4th-round picks or 3rd-round picks, 2nd-round picks that come in because nobody really pays attention until you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
And then even then, a lot of teams don't prepare the
stuff.
same. Yeah, because they start working on, okay, this team's going to start doing this. They may do this. They may do this, rather than the actual focus of the quarterback throwing the ball. So at 8.5, man, that's a tough one. That's a coin flip. It's an easy win for the Texans, but at an 8.5, if I had to put my money on it, I would go the Texans are going to cover it, but that's definitely a risky bet. So be careful on that one. JB, next game we got Colts and Titans.
Colts and Titans. This is going to be a good matchup. Good matchup.
More Andrew Luck.
Yeah, Jacoby Brissett definitely played well enough for them to win last week. I think he was 21 of 27. He threw 2 touchdowns. He played really good. And that whole offense goes through Marlon Mack. He had almost 200 yards last week. I think I'm going to go with the Colts this week just because I feel like they have a chance to still make the playoffs. It's going to be tough, but I feel like they're one of those teams that has they have the pieces, and I think Jacoby Brissett will still get better. And it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a fight, division rivalry. I wouldn't be surprised if Titans won. They're pretty solid, but I'm going to go with the Colts today.
Yeah, Colts, Brissett, I like it. I'm digging it. The Titans have always been that since Marcus Mariota came in the league. They're just a coin flip. They're a coin flip in the air. You never know what to expect from Mariota. So, like he said, I'm not going to be surprised if the Titans pull this off. It's not a surprise, but Brissett may show up. He's going to show out today. He will show out. They're on the road. He's got a lot to prove. Got a big shoe to fill. Not a huge shoe, but a big shoe. And the Colts are the favorites. The Colts are the underdogs at +3. If you're betting, take the Colts at +3. If you're betting the money line, take the Colts straight up. The Colts will get this W. So let's go straight into that next one. This game is going to be a little bit more fun. Vegas doesn't think so, but I think differently. We got the Ravens and the Cardinals. Cardinals going over to Baltimore. The spread is at +13.
Whew. Man,
they are expecting another Miami Dolphins Ravens blowout.
I don't know if I'd expect that. It depends on Kyler Murray. So the first 3 quarters last week, he did really bad.
Terrible.
He was
terrible.
9 of 25, 70 yards, and with a 27.9 passer rating. But in the fourth quarter and overtime, he goes 20 of 29. 238 yards, 2 touchdowns with a 116 passer rating. Well, tie. So it depends. Is Kyler Murray going to build off that fourth quarter and overtime performance? Is he going to build off that? Of course, it was his debut game. Is he going to build off that? If he can build off that, I definitely expect it to be a fight. Yeah, a fight. But I'm still going to go with the Ravens on this. I think their defense is good. They're going to run the ball. Lamar Jackson will be able to pass. As successful as last week, I don't think so, but he'll still be able to pass. They're going to run the ball good. Mark Ingram is questionable, though, but I still think they're going to have
He's going to play, though.
There is a lot of injuries around that Raven. They got Mark Andrews is injured. Jimmy Smith. Tavon Young, I think, is their other corner. He's injured also. They got a lot of injuries. But I still think they pull this one out.
Easy dub for Baltimore. Covering the spread, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to guess because you probably lose your money on that game.
Yeah.
So, Baltimore, if you're going to do the money line straight up, do it. Ravens, easy dub. Kill him. Kyler Murray, too much hype. I still don't have faith in the dude unless you show me differently this week because this is a good game to show that you are the real deal.
Yeah.
So, try to get it done, but easy win for Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, show out. Okay, next game, we got the 49ers and the Bengals. The Bengals are at home.
I like this matchup. It's a good matchup. I feel like it's going to be a shootout. Zach Taylor, coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, is definitely a pass-heavy type of coach. He'll spread you out. I expect John Ross to have a lot of targets.
John Ross
be their main target.
Came back from the dead.
Man. Yeah, I really like him. I think he's going to make some plays this weekend. He's going to be in the slot. I'm going to pick the 49ers to come out of this. Yeah, I expect 49ers. Jimmy G. I expect Jimmy G to perform.
I'm going to agree with you again. 49ers will easily get this dub. It's going to be a close game. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna, but you got to get the 49ers. On the spread, you got 49ers +1. It's almost straight up. You might as well bet the 49ers. They're going to get this one. Definitely. Let's move into our next matchup here. We got the Chargers against the Lions. It's going to be a close game. Lions are known to be the heartbreakers. They show out when they shouldn't show out, or when you don't expect them to show out. So, who you got?
I'm going to take the Chargers pretty easily in this game. I feel like maybe, a 10-point win or so. I think they're going to run the ball. They got a good balance on offense, and their defense is going to get after Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I agree. That running game, that little duo they got there, it's going to be overwhelming. Matt Stafford, I love the dude. I love his competitiveness.
Yeah.
But it's another tough year, man. Another tough year for the Lions. Miles, Lions are not making the playoffs. I know you think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they probably might not even.
It's always good to have hope.
Yeah. I think Roger Goodell is going to change their schedule to about 10 games because they're that terrible. So let's go to our next one. We got the Patriots and Dolphins.
Ooh.
That is obviously.
Man, what a matchup.
That is obviously. If you're going to put your money on anybody to ever upset anybody, this is the game.
It could be the game
because
thousands, millions.
You could probably put up $50 right now and win about a G.
Yeah.
So if you have $50 to just spare that you don't really need and you don't care about, put it on the Dolphins. It's not going to happen. So you might just want to donate to an organization.
Yeah. This game's going to be over at halftime.
Yeah. The spread is at,
I think, 17.
It's actually at 19 this morning.
Oh, my God.
Vegas went up. They woke up this morning, ate their cereal, ate their Captain Crunch, and said, God damn it, the Dolphins suck. So let's move it up 2 more points. Do you bet the spread on this one? That's tough. But you do, because the Dolphins are that terrible. Yeah. That terrible. So don't put your $50 on the Dolphins. Put it on the spread. Next game, we got the Bills and the Giants.
Interesting matchup.
The Bills are actually the favorites in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I think the Bills, I think Josh Allen, when you got a young quarterback and he's getting better, there's just a lot of upside. And the Bills aren't that bad. They come back. They beat the Jets last week. I feel like they're going to slowly improve. I'm not saying they're great.
And Sterling Shepard's hurt. They're the number 1 receivers out. Eli Manning already is terrible.
All they got, they're riding on Saquon. So I like the Bills. I like the Bills in this one. I'll take them.
Well, the rookie, Daniel Jones, right?
Daniel Jones, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Daniel Jones, I expect to see you again, even though you threw a pick on your first pass in the NFL. That sucks. But be better than that little kid that didn't get a DeMarcus Lawrence autograph. Shout out the Tank right here on the t-shirt. Dude, when you don't get what you want, go after what you want. Don't complain and post it on social media. But if you do, you might get a prize or end up on Ellen. So, depends what route you want to go. But anyways.
Sounds like you're trying to sell something.
Yeah, I know, right? What I'm trying to sell is don't be a baby. But, so, Bills get the dub. Giants are terrible. They're in New York. They're still terrible. They have a chance to win because they have Saquon Barkley. Saquon has that type of capability to change a game. He's a game changer. It's that simple. But they don't pull this out. Josh Allen, we're expecting a big game out of you, man. Do your thing. Yeah. Sling the rock. Go into New York and shut them the hell up. Let's go. Next game. Good game. Steelers and Seahawks.
Ooh, that is.
Russell is heading over to Pittsburgh.
Man,
how do you feel? Got all these yellow towels swinging around. Must win. Man. Big Ben. Juju. James Conner.
Russell Wilson he's that man. He's really that man. Man, he's such a good quarterback. It's crazy. It's so frustrating to watch if you're going against him, but it's so good to see if you're going for him. It's going to take an entire defensive effort to stop Russell Wilson. Not only his him throwing the ball, but his ability to escape and make plays. And I don't think they do that. I don't think Steelers do that today. I think they go 0-2. I think the Seahawks pull this one out. I think Russell Wilson, he's going to hit Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's going to make some plays. DK Metcalf is also going to make some plays. He is a very good receiver, and I would not sleep on them. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pound the ball with Chris Carson, and Russell Wilson's going to do what Russell Wilson does best, and they leave out of Pittsburgh 2-0.
2-0. I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I know I said Friday, hit the panic button. Because Pittsburgh, it's going downhill. If you want to prove me wrong, it's today. I got some faith in you today. So does Vegas. Vegas has you as the favorite at 3.5. You got to win. For one, you got to win. You have to. There's no choice. If you lose, you're done. There's nothing to it. You're done. But I got some faith, man. Juju looked terrible against the double teams last week. So I'm expecting.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I'm expecting someone else.
Who's their target? Who's going to be their guy? That's what
Someone
that's scary on that.
Someone
offense.
has to show up. Most importantly, James Conner. You got to fill the shoes, man. You have to fill the shoes. The thing that a lot of people don't get is that Le'Veon Bell created so much space for everybody else. I mean, you can look at the same thing in Dallas. Look at the difference when Zeke doesn't play and when he does. I mean, it makes such a huge impact on what the receivers can do. Sure, Amari Cooper is a great wide receiver, but he's a superstar when Zeke is playing because Zeke has that effect to make everybody else around him that much better. Same thing with Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown, he was a great receiver, or he is. He's definitely top 5, easily top 5. He hasn't even played a game yet. You would still say he's top 5. But a lot of the reason Le'Veon Bell wanted to get paid was because the guy was doing crap on both ends. The guy was running the ball, putting up 100 plus, and then on the other side, he was receiving for almost 100 yards a game. When your running back is balling, your team is a whole different team. So, yeah. James Conner, I believe in you today, man. Run the goddamn ball and make some noise in Pittsburgh because they need it. And if they don't, Pittsburgh, hang them up, Big Ben, go home, and let's bring on Rudolph because it's time to rebuild. So I got Pitt winning that. Even though they're the favorites, I feel like it's an upset. I think Vegas has this wrong. But Pittsburgh win this game, get the dub, and move on to week 3. Next game should be pretty easy. You got Dallas going into Washington. Only crazy part is it is a rivalry game. It is a division game, and Dallas is on the road going to Washington.
I'm going to pick Dallas in this one. I think it's just too much for the Redskins. The Redskins aren't a high power offense. They got a decent defense, and I don't think they're going to keep up. Just the same way as last week. I don't think they can't keep up with these teams like the Eagles and the Cowboys. And I think slowly the Cowboys are just going to run away with it. They're going to control the clock. Dak Prescott's gonna
light him up.
We'll see. But Zeke will control the ground. Him and Tony Pollard. They're going to control the run game. And
Zeke's probably going to see a little bit more touches this week.
Yeah, I expect that. I expect the low to be a little bit more on him.
Not rough. I wouldn't say rough, but they're being conservative.
Yeah, there was no really need to just throw them into the fire. No, and I think they're going to control this game. It's
if you're dealing with fantasy, Michael Gallup is probably a solid pickup. I think a lot of attention is going to be on Josh Norman.
Yes. And Randall Cobb also. He made some good plays
for sure. The only reason I say Michael Gallup is because I feel like Amari Cooper is going to obviously grab a bunch of the attention. And then you got Randall Cobb, who's probably going to get a little more attention than Michael Gallup. Don't sleep on the dude. The dude got jets, man. The guy can run, and he's got some hands. So if you didn't pick him up off the waivers, you better get him. You got, 15 minutes, so get to it, man. But Dallas wins that easily. If you are betting, the spread is -6. Dallas easily wins this by 10+. So bet on that game. Next game you got here is the Chiefs and the Raiders. A lot of talk around the Raiders, right?
Yeah.
A lot of talk with Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
A lot better matchup than a lot of people.
Yeah, that's what.
Who do you got, man?
That's what I'm thinking.
Who do you got?
This is going to be Patrick Mahomes' first game without Tyreek Hill. So that's going to be interesting. Sammy Watkins definitely stepped up last week. He had a huge game. I expect the ball to be thrown around, distributed like really well. So and we're going to see some LaShawn McCoy also. So that's going to be exciting to see. And I just think it could end up in a shootout in a sense, and I just don't think the Raiders are gonna stick with them. They just can't stick with them. So
the Raiders are going to go for a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so that's why I'm gonna pick the Chiefs. I just don't think the Raiders can hang around with the Chiefs.
I think that's an easy pick. Raiders. The Raiders at +7. They're the underdog. I bet the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to win by more than 7. I'm pretty sure. I think the Raiders will stick around the first half. It's going to look interesting and get everybody all excited. And then, boom, Patrick Mahomes. Let's go. Next game, we said Saints and Rams. One of the games to watch. Man. Yep. The Rams are the favorite at -2. Who you got this game?
Man, this is a tough game. The Saints want to come out. They want to win this game. They want it. So that's literally they want to prove the point that they are better. So I'm gonna go with the Saints this game.
Saints.
I feel like they're hungry. They want revenge.
Easy dub or
no, not necessarily. I think they could win by 7 or less. Possibly.
Yeah, easy.
It'll be a good game. It's gonna be a good game.
Spread is -2. Saints are the underdogs. I'm gonna bet the Saints because I think they're gonna win. If this is a close game, which we are expecting, it's going to be a shootout, but a close game. Drew Brees will find a way to win. Drew Brees is not Drew Brees.
I think so.
For no reason. The guy can throw the rock, and if you give him any amount of time, he's going to get
It's going to come down to that if they can get to him or not.
Saints on the road to L.A.
Saints
to get this dub. Next game we got here is another good matchup. We got the Bears and the Broncos. There's a lot of stuff running on both of these teams. After a rough week 1. They're both 0-1. The Broncos are the favorites at +2.5. Easy and simple, man. Who do you got?
For this game, it's going to be very hard for Chicago to go into Denver and I think pull out a win. I'm going to go to Denver. I think Joe Flacco hits his receivers this game. He's accurate. I think he'll make some plays. Phillip Lindsay's going to get the ball moving on the ground. And I really feel like it's their defense, their front. Von Miller's going to get after Mitchell Trubisky and make it hard for him. I also think Khalil Mack's going to make it hard for Joe Flacco. But I just feel like their offense is a little bit better in certain ways, quarterback-wise. I feel like Joe Flacco will pull this one out. It's going to come out to Joe Flacco and Trubisky, whoever can make
If I have to pick, I think they're almost the same team.
Yeah, kind of.
So it comes down to
quarterback play.
Yeah. And Joe Flacco, I'll take you any day.
I'll take him over
Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky, if you want to prove us wrong, show the hell out.
Yeah.
But as of right now, you are losing today. You're going to Denver, and it's just we don't see it happening. Broncos are the underdog at +2.5. That is a solid bet, my friends, unless Mitchell Trubisky does some crazy crap. So let's move on to this next one, man. This is going to be fun. This is our Sunday night football game. We got Philly flying over to Atlanta, where, let me remind you, Chick-fil-A is closed because it is Sunday.
It is Sunday.
But let me know how you feel about this game, man. Who's going to win? The Falcons are the underdogs at +2.
This is always a good matchup. It's always a good matchup. Both quarterbacks are going to make plays. I think it's going to come down to the defense also. Who's going to make more plays on the defensive side. And I feel like with Matt Ryan's offensive line, I think he's going to be under more duress this week. And I think Carson Wentz is the real deal this year. And he's going to lead that team to a good record. Like, they're going to be good. And I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm taking the Eagles today over the Falcons.
Eagles. Borba said it first. Or maybe not first, because all the Eagles fans probably said it last year. But the Eagles, he's got the Eagles winning. I'm going to disagree with you, man. They're going to Atlanta. They're going to the hostile environment. We still haven't seen the best of Carson Wentz. Like I said earlier, Carson Wentz threw 2 touchdowns to Deshaun Jackson. Broken plays in the secondary. I see Atlanta proving me wrong, man. I mean, definitely, it's time to panic. You got to panic. Devontae Freeman, show the hell out, my friend. You got to run the goddamn ball, man.
Julio just got paid. I expect him to put up a lot of numbers.
And he has to. Yeah. If you're gonna be of any value, and ask for all this money, show the hell out. Please show the hell out. I got Atlanta winning today. It's gonna be a close game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good.
But Atlanta is gonna pull this off. Devontae Freeman, I see a good game coming out of you, my friend. But Philly's good. Don't get me wrong. Philly is good. And if Philly loses, don't panic.
No.
They came into a game with egos.
On the road.
With egos on the road in Atlanta, and they hit a hungrier team. And that's what I think is going to happen today. I think Atlanta's a lot more hungry. I think Matt Ryan has a lot to prove, and I think he knows it. And I think Julio Jones just got that fat contract. So you got to show out, my friend. Show out.
Yeah.
Show out and ball out. Last game got Monday Night Football. We have the Browns and the Jets. Browns and Jets. Baker Mayfield flying over New York. They lost their quarterback, lost their best linebacker.
Yeah, the Jets are looking kind of rough this week. But you never know. I'm still going to pick the Browns just because they're talent-wise. They should run away with this game. And we're going to find out a lot. If they can run out with this game, then okay, they're getting their stuff together. It's week by week. They should be improving.
Yeah.
So I expect them to win this game. Baker Mayfield should have a good game. He should hit his targets. Odell could have a big game. Nick Chubb's going to have a good game. I expect them to run away with it.
Yeah, Browns will win this game easily. They are at 6.5. So I would bet that there's no way without Sam Darnold or Mosley that the Jets even get close to this game. And if they do, the Browns
that says something about the Browns.
Need to panic. So this should be an easy dub. Put your money on the Browns. They are going to win this game easily. So let's just go. Easy made a comment earlier. Where would you rank Cousins in QBs?
Me personally, I'd rank him about top 16.
Top 16.
Top, the first half of the league. Just because, I mean, he can make every throw, he can do all that kind of stuff, but he just doesn't prove himself that he's 5-25 in the big games against positive teams. And we're gonna find out this year is his make or break year. I feel like he's got everything around him. This is a make or break year.
This is definitely the season for him.
Yeah, this is the season.
This is where you find out.
Prove us all wrong. Yeah,
this is where you find out.
He's got everything you need.
As every football fan and every Vikings fan out there, did you waste your money? This is what it all comes down to. Because they paid a shit ton of money for this guy, so it's definitely a make or break year. So. Hey guys, I just want to let y'all know, Borba, what are you wearing today, my friend?
Man,
what have we got today?
I got the Skull Vikings, baby. Boom, boom. Skull! Boom, boom. Skull! That's what I'm doing today, baby. I'm hyped. I'm ready.
Borba has his money on the Vikings. It's gonna be a hell of a game. It's gonna be a good weekend. We got my DeMarcus Lawrence t-shirt, DeMarcusLawrence.com, D-Law the Tank will show out today. He will have 3+ sacks. So you better recognize when the hot boys are in town. And Skull is coming into town. Woo! So best believe it's Speaking Out Loud. Follow us on Instagram at SOL Speaking Out Loud. Also, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend with all these NFL games, and I hope the odds are in your favor, except for you Eagle fans. I hope you guys lose. Have a great day.